Welcome to That's Dope, the podcast where we talk about things that are dope.
Yo, hold up. All right, hang on. Who the hell is this?
I think that's a roommate.
I was about to say, because, you don't got the chocolatey, silky smooth voice.
He's not high-voiced either.
It's somewhere in the middle.
Oh my god, he's perfect. This is That's Dope, the podcast where we talk about things that are dope. My name is God's Will.
I'm JV.
And I'm Joshua.
Yeah,
Our special guest.
Yeah, we have a special guest.
Have we had a special guest on just a normal podcast before?
No.
There was a time y'all had the the marriage episode.
Yeah.
That was a really good episode. I remember
love that episode. That was a bro talk with my bro Sam. But as far as actual episodes of That's Dope go, this is
The first time. So
Wow,
welcome.
okay.
You're making history right here. And
Cool.
yeah, I mean, we wanted to bring him on because today we're talking about hip hop and all the good stuff that's just come out recently.
So much.
And our roommate is an expert on these things. We've had great conversations just back to back, just downstairs. And
Yeah, I missed that, man.
yeah, I miss it too. But don't worry, I'm hoping to have more of that, come around whenever I can.
Oh, definitely. Cool.
But, it's why not bring Josh on to talk about the good hip hop that's just come out recently and just also to get his viewpoint on that too, And also since he has been a good fan too, just
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me then. Yeah, I've been watching this podcast for a little bit. More listening, but
Hey, yeah, Josh, how do you watch a podcast?
I have watched a couple
I mean,
of Mario
you watch
64
Bro
things
Talks
where
and stuff. Yeah, that's true,
Goggles killing himself.
That's
and-
true. Now I just feel like a jerk.
Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, start things off with this, this plethora of good albums that have just come out this past winter, and just to talk about that. I mean, Lupe, Logic, J. Cole. We've done worse albums in the past, and we need to touch on these ones because these have been the best.
Yeah, this is a good year. This is a good year.
Yeah, and we have mentioned them, here and there, just sprinkle them in, but this is our time to really have a dedicated half hour where we just discuss something old and something new in regards to really solid hip hop.
Yeah, that's the truth. And yeah, so I guess what do you guys want to start with first? J. Cole, Lupe, or
Start with the
Logic?
one that came out first.
Okay.
We'll start with Logic.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good point. Okay.
Come on, it's done. I had to come from somewhere, right? Yeah, various listeners wishing us death. Don't give a damn, I'm repping Young Sinatra till my last breath. Easily
Okay, so I guess who has background information on Logic?
Background information I have more of than the new album itself.
Mm-hmm.
I think Justin actually finished the whole album.
Dude, are you kidding me? Of course I finished the whole album, man. It was actually this guy here who got me into Logic. He was,
Same thing with me too, actually.
Yeah, because it was Young Sinatra.
So good.
That mixtape first, and then shortly after I listened to that, that's when his latest album dropped. Josh, why don't you expand on that a bit?
His original struggle when he got into the music industry, he was always talking about black and white, which is it's something that rappers are always talking about.
Yeah.
But he shed a different light on it. He definitely looks like a white kid.
Yeah, no, I was looking at him because when I
Yes.
first heard him, I was like, "What is he?" And yeah, he looks like a white guy, honestly. With
you realize
weird
his-
blonde hair.
His dad's black, his mom was white, and his dad actually walked out on him. But he took a lot of the more white genetics. So, I mean, that was always the thing. He was always bringing that up in his music and how people would discredit him instantly just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was interesting.
Honestly, I was about to do the same thing to myself.
I don't blame you. Honestly, I don't even want to sound like a bad person right now, but when I first saw his a YouTube video of him a long time ago, I was just like, who's this random white guy rapping? It's
do
probably
we
some
need
kid in
another
high
white
school.
guy trying
Yeah.
to rap, right?
And I just moved on. I didn't really listen to it and made a mistake because when I heard his mixtape a little bit later, I was hooked. Every song, it's all great. Not a lot of artists can do that. There's always hit or miss. He's right there all the time.
I hear
Good
you with
content.
that. This new album that just came out is Soul Food, right?
Yeah, Soul Food.
I was very skeptical, you showed me that first song, Soul Food, track name. I was skeptical. I was like, a white guy rapping. I mean, I already have Eminem. Do I really need another white guy?
Pocket white guy.
Right, but
I mean, hey, I like my rappers regardless of skin tones. Hey,
look at you being forward thinking, huh? But anyways, I listened to it and I was just surprised how fast this guy was going, but I understood everything he was saying and just how good and crisp it was.
Yeah, I know Godzilla. Anytime we talk about hip hop, one of your biggest complaints is there's a lot of rappers who just don't understand what the hell they're saying. And
Is that a
Logic,
Slim Thug reference?
Slim Thugger mother. And Logic does such a good job, really, of just being very articulate, not only in the way that he sounds, but also with the lines themselves. And that kind of, I think, feeds into the album as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, Slim Thug. I know you're not watching this, but if you were,
One day
I was
will.
trying to talk about Young Thug. He's the one I can't understand half the time.
See, I was about to say, because Slim Thug, he's like bona fide hustler, certified G. Like, he's on that.
That's articulation, man. You're doing great.
He's not only does he articulate, he takes his time on those words. He makes sure that you understand everything. There's not much complexity to it at all, dude.
Right. Right. But,
appreciate that.
Logic goes the opposite way, and he's very articulate, while just going at like lightning speed, I guess these white guys like really have that under control. I mean, Eminem does the same thing, of course, And like this whole album like really surprised me. Like I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did.
No, I completely agree. I think on a scale of Chameleonaire to Eminem, he's definitely closer to the latter.
What's wrong with Chameleonaire though?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, as far as like, okay, so I think it's like Chameleonaire is probably like bottom tier, and then it's probably like Mac Miller somewhere in the middle of that. I guess he's like the
Chameleonaire's not
middle
doing a
ground.
lot as far as releasing albums.
Well, that's true. I mean, although I had good times with Chameleonaire.
Hey, man, so did I, dude. Like back in the day, like HTX, let's go.
Oh man, like. Anyways, but we gotta do a bro talk about Chameleonaire because I have stories about that. but I mean, like, yeah, this Logic album, like, it's just really good. It's popping off. It goes hard in the paint.
Oh yeah,
like
a lot of songs on there. A lot of get you hype in the car. Songs on
yeah,
there.
right. Like, I really wasn't expecting that. Like, Soul Food has become like one of my undeniable favorites.
Childish Gambino was actually on that album a couple times. He actually released a song with Childish on his mixtape.
Driving Miss Daisy?
Yeah.
And okay, so that's something interesting about the album, actually, right? If you look at the normal version of the album, every track on there doesn't have any guests. It's literally just him rapping, like no one else rapping.
You
right?
get that a lot when artists first start out. Yeah.
Yeah, but he really wanted to make the individual album experience just you and him. He didn't really want it to be like another party in there, and that's why only on the deluxe version does he have that song with Big Sean and that song with Gambino as well.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know, Josh, if you have more to say. I'm
at a blank right now with Logic.
You're at a blank? Dude.
Yeah, I need to actually go finish that album.
You didn't finish the album?
No, I was in the middle of my
okay, so
of a
when we
work
were
crisis
divvying
at the
this
time.
up and we were like, yo, Josh, we want you on this podcast. Can you talk about what I was like? Yeah, man, I'll talk about the Logic album. You haven't even listened?
I said I would talk about a lot of things. The Logic album I was not even finishing yet. I have a lot of the songs on my MP3. I did not finish it. So I can't even.
Well, as someone who's finished it, I thought the album overall was very well put together. Especially the fact that it's just him really does cement the fact that he's having like a one-on-one conversation with you. And it has a lot of really awesome tracks. My personal favorite being Under Pressure.
Under Pressure is amazing.
Yeah, Under Pressure, 9-minute song, but it goes in and like it's telling a really nice story about like his relationship with his family and all the people who've been around him, and yeah, it's really good, a really good song. My favorite is Now.
A little hype.
Yeah, like it gets me so hype, and like also of course Soul Food too. That's just the default song where it's like, okay, I want a Logic song right now.
Damn conversations with legends. Crazy how one day your idols can turn into your brethren. Biz we severing. Hit up my jeweler, watch them freezes. Breaking bread like I'm Jesus. Money ain't everything.
Soul Food's good.
Uh-huh.
Just about all the time, man. Now is definitely one of the more hype songs on the album. Under Pressure, again, another. I'd say leaning more to the hype sound.
Work so fucking much, my greatest fear is I'ma die alone. Every diamond in my chain, yeah, that's a milestone. I'm loving it. Calling me, asking me for money, man.
He has a good balance. There's a really good balance in there. I mean, you're not gonna get club bangers.
Oh
of
yeah,
course,
but that's not.
But
We're
it's
not
what he
here to
does.
talk about the club bangers.
Yeah, that's not what he
That's a
does.
whole nother podcast right there. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for like a nice, intellectual, fast-paced album, hip hop album, this is the album to go check out. Logic is going to be a guy to really push the genre forward.
And I guess like if you're just waiting and you're like, hey, I'm not sure if I want to like drop the money on here and I don't really have Spotify yet. He has so many mixtapes that are free, and I'd say like Young Sinatra, like his
Young
latest
Sinatra, Young Sinatra 2, Young Sinatra 3.
Yeah, the newest one is
All
4,
amazing.
right?
Yeah, he is. There's another one.
Yeah, that one is really good. That has some awesome tracks like The Come Up, which is amazing. Like if you just wanted to have just a taste of how good he is, like check that out too.
those mixtapes, I kid you not, are actually better than most people's actual albums.
Wow, I actually didn't know he did that many mixtapes.
That's what got me on him. I was way more into his mixtapes than anything else. Like this, I think might actually be his first commercial album.
It was his debut studio album.
So moving on, as we're talking to the next album that I guess Justin was going to hint at, one of my favorites for a good long time, J. Cole. Oh man, with his new album 2014 Forest Hills Drive, and
Fire.
Oh my god,
The whole
I
album.
think it's actually like his best album to date, honestly.
Yeah, actually, J. Cole has considerably gotten better since he started. Well, he started a while back, I'd say about 2008-ish, had a little single come out. Since then, Born Sinner has come out. You remember when that came out? He released it at the same time as Jay-Z and all of them.
Oh yeah, like honestly, like I've been following J. Cole for a good while. You know, like with his mixtapes, you know, Come Up, The Warm Up. You know, I've seen like some of his like just random stuff. Like one of my favorite songs is Return to Simba, which is just like not even released, I guess, on an album. I'm a Fool. You know, not even like I've been following him for a good while. You know,
Do when the OG niggas don't get it. Lost what was once theirs, but they won't quit it. Homie, it's a new era. Middle finger to the suit wearers. Let me show you how to.
and I went to the concert right before he dropped the first album, Sideline Stories. And that was one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to. I've been a Cole fan for a good while. And I'll start with Premeditated Murder, but then I've been enjoying his journey ever since, and 2014 has been a very good peak so far.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I can't say that I've been following J. Cole nearly as long as you have. You're the one who actually got me into him with one of our podcast episodes, I think last year, where we talked about, you mentioned Born Sinner. And I think that that's something worth noting as well, is the difference from Born Sinner to this album. You know, Born Sinner, that had so many features on it. You know, 50 Cent did a hook on
good.
that album, which I thought was really well
Was it
done.
New York Times?
Yeah,
That was good
yeah,
stuff.
That was dope. That song is so good, you know. But something that J. Cole took a note of, just like Logic, was he wanted to make an album that was very personal. He wanted to make an album that was literally like as non-radio as you could make, just him and whoever. He didn't want to have some big name guests or anything. So again, he went the Logic route. He made an album with no guest rappers, and he killed like every track on there. He really did. It was just a beautifully put together album.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that, man. It was that was an experience, and I enjoyed all of it. Honestly, like the transition from when he started to now, you can see it, like you can hear it. Everything has gotten so much more clear and crisp with his whole career, and like now it's just solidified that he is in the upper echelons as far as rappers go nowadays.
Yeah, that's the truth. Like honestly, like I feel like he finally understands himself. Whereas before he was trying to show out, you know, for like all these
Still
big
growing.
Yeah, exactly.
Phase.
You know, like with Born Sinner, like he's like, okay, I'm getting to the level like Kanye. That's why he dropped the same week of Kanye. But you know, he was still apologizing to the greats. You know, and like he was like, oh, I'm sorry Nas for doing this. I'm sorry Jay-Z for yada yada.
Yeah, because Nas,
he's apologizing.
Nas told him his album wasn't on point. Like he showed him a song and Nas was not approving it.
Yeah, like honestly, I didn't approve. I like Sideline Stories. There's like 3 songs that like I really liked from him, and that was it. You know, even though like I'm a huge Cole fan. You know,
Right.
And you know, Born Sinner was great, but you know, this one, like like all you guys have said, like it is just so good. Like every song is so well manicured, and like it's personal. It's his stuff. He's no longer apologizing. He's just being him. You know, he's unrepentant. You know, and it's really good. And also, I guess like one thing that makes this one stand out is just the number of personal stories on this album.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal with J. Cole. The thing with rappers, it's a stereotype that goes with them. A lot of the stories they have are not real; they're fabricated. Almost all of it is actually. I'm not going to say something. I'm not going to say anything. But J. Cole, when you hear him talk about his things, like there's actual feeling in a lot of the songs he put. Like when he makes a song, there's actual feeling there. It's not just, he's not singing songs to just girls try to get laid. He's not just singing, you know, about how I'm gonna shoot this dude or whatever. He doesn't do that. He tells stories, and when he tells stories, you're like, you know what, that makes sense. Especially when you come from situations like that, it's like it makes a lot more sense. He's being very connected to his audience, kind of like Kanye in the past. Kanye is now on a different planet than the rest of us.
He still makes great music though.
I'm not saying anything about his music.
Yeah, but no, I agree. Like J. Cole, you know, has always had those songs where he just does a really good job of painting a narrative, and something that really stands out in my eyes is the track "Wet Dreams."
Wow,
that track. I don't know. I connected with that track a lot.
She was in my math class, long hair, brown skin with the fat ass.
We actually had one of Justin's friends over here. We actually had her sit down in the living room. We played that track for her, the whole track. We didn't let her leave. We were like, you need to listen to this. That's how good that whole album is.
But that's the thing. No, we didn't need to let her leave. She actually really enjoyed it.
Extremely enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really well done. And then we played it for Sean too. And then he got really drunk on his birthday and tried to recreate it in the car.
Oh yeah, he did.
Throwing up at Courtney's.
Yeah, that was a good day.
That was a great.
I'll remember
night.
that forever. We love you, Sean, man.
Yeah, but hey, that album has so many great hits like Fire Squad, GOMD, just a lot of really Gods will say no role models, of course.
And that's a big deal. When he said that, we always talk about things like that, like who do kids have to look up to. Now we're not gonna talk about this right now.
That's a whole nother podcast, right?
Yeah, that's a whole different couple hours. But Cole is definitely a big brother figure, which you don't get a lot out of rappers. Not a lot of rappers don't represent themselves as role models. They say they will, but they're not really. Like, what are you really showing? J. Cole is very mindful of what he's saying. And I mean, even though it sounds a little raunchy sometimes, Wet Dreams, that song's name is Wet Dreams. You might think, he's just talking about, whatever, but
honestly, I'm glad you say that, because honestly, I do feel like he connected me like a sort of big bro. Like, here's how
this is how it worked. Yeah. This is how it went down.
Okay. Yeah, 03 adolescence, he's like, this is how I used to feel. And this is like something in my past that made me stronger, And honestly, I feel like, he's talking with, like a family, and that's I guess what makes it special,
It makes it great.
Yeah, and he goes also the Logic route in the sense that he does not make an album for the radio. Like his last track, he's just he goes the next level where he's just like, hey, I'm gonna thank every single person that I ever met in my entire life on this 15-minute long track.
Coach Nemo,
and even some people that he met. You didn't even know he met Dale Earnhardt because he shouted him out. I mean, that cracked me up. I need to read that article, but he met Dale Earnhardt Jr. And then I guess also just close things off with these 3 albums that you need to listen to. The Lupe album, Tetsuo and Youth. All right, let me say something first before we get into it.
The man say
let me say something, all right?
I'm the biggest Lupe fan since anybody.
Oh my God.
Listen, go talk to me.
Oh my God.
Talk to me on God's will about your background with Mr. Fiasco.
You think I was a Cole fan? I was a Lupe stan. I was like, oh my God, Lupe, he's so cool.
Lupe stan. That is interesting.
Oh,
that is dangerous. That is interesting.
I remember first hearing him. So many years ago. Just hearing him, I was like, oh my God, someone who's nerdy like me and cool. Oh. And I loved, the first 2 albums,
Oh God.
And
classics, man.
Oh man, I cried when I couldn't make it to the concert because I had no money, and I was still, I remember going to high school and I wanted to go to this concert. I couldn't, I remember hearing Spray Pan and Ink Pans and just spazzing out because it was like, oh my God, he's talking about Gundams.
Nerds just get God's will off. That's always my thing.
If we just had video for this podcast, God's will. I'm not even gonna finish what God's will look like whenever we said that phrase.
It's not hard, women. You know what to do. You know how to get God's will.
I could go on a whole podcast about Lupe, but I'm not gonna do that because we're trying to be better, responsible about our time. Anyways, I love Lupe, all right, but I thought he was falling off, honestly. With the lasers, I was like, well, he's with Atlantic. He has to do something like that. Fine. Food and Liquor 2, it really disappointed me. I know it was good. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not gonna say anything. I mean, we have our own opinions.
Yeah.
I love Food and Liquor 2.
Yeah.
It just fell off for me
personally. I thought Laser was better than Food and Liquor 2. Everyone blast me on the internet. Fine, that's cool. But
please do.
Food and Liquor 2, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it.
Destroy the comments, please.
Yeah, please do.
Blow those comments up, man.
But then, so I wasn't really expecting too much from Tetsuo and Youth, especially with some of the singles that I heard, I was just like, this is all right, I heard the Ed Sheeran song. I was like,
yeah, thank God. But Lupe himself said he didn't like that song. He straight said he was just like, I wasn't feeling that. It was really soft. And
yeah.
I'm not going to say anything about that because it was I didn't like that song.
Yeah,
I was like, this is what you're giving me. I'm probably not going to be too interested.
Exactly. So. And then as January rolled around, I really started getting excited because I started hearing some of the singles that were going to be on it, like Deliver.
Some ghetto girls, some ghetto sons, throwing rocks at the busting of the ghetto fun. I always wonder where the ghetto from, because I'm from the ghetto. They never
Unfortunately, the singer's not on it, but it's things that just got me excited. And then the album came out, and I was like, well, I'm gonna be a cheapskate, so I'm listening to it on YouTube. And I was like, well, I don't like it. And why didn't I like it? Because the version I was listening to was sped up.
No, it's sped up or slowed down.
Goswell, my boy. You realize that we have like Spotify links that we put at the bottom of every episode for like all the albums we list. Why are you still going on YouTube, man? We live in 2015 now, man. I was about to say 2014, but we're like actually in the future. It's 2015, homie, like for reals.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. No. Well, yeah, we will have Spotify links to all the songs that we're talking about here, of course. I screwed up until I listened to the Spotify songs, until like Josh actually right here showed me. I was like, no, listen to this.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was. I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. And I fell in love again.
You know what's crazy is even though you're like crazy, a huge Lupe fan, I think it was me. I might have been the first person in the house to actually, have a taste of the album, because I remember being at work and I got a little notification on my Google Play. Yo, I'm just saying Google Play is pretty great. It's only $10, like not like an ad or anything. I promise. It's just a really good service, and it's better than listening to high pitched stuff on YouTube. You broke ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, but I definitely did that for a little bit. I was like, this sounds real bad right now.
No, but I got the notice. It was like, hey, I know you like Lupe Fiasco. Here's a new album. I'm like, oh, okay, and I wasn't expecting much. I'll be honest. Because I heard. You did such a wonderful job of getting me into like the cool. I remember being in the car and we listened to tracks like Gotta Eat.
My man said life ain't easy. When niggas gotta eat, that's when shit get greasy. The streets be all like, feed me. When niggas gotta eat.
That is a story.
Yeah.
The Cool is a full book.
Yes.
If you haven't caught that album yet, please.
Yeah,
please
The Cool
do.
is super good, y'all. Seriously, look into it. It's so good.
Like that's amazing.
Yeah, I do want to say, like, if you haven't heard Lupe before and you're like, oh, well, I should listen to this album. Don't listen to this album. Listen to The Cool first. Then listen to
I
this.
just want to let y'all know how big of a fan Godzilla is right now. Like, I wish y'all could just see what's going on in this in the studio right now. Justin was talking still. Godzilla literally reached over to talk about Lupe and took
like,
the
give
mic.
me that mic. Give me that mic.
Savage for
like,
me, man.
I'm sorry. I just had to point that out because I was trying to show my sister. I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta, you're gonna learn today, all right? And then I was like, well, this is senior level classes right here. I need to start off with some of that sophomore level stuff. So The Cool is where to start at, and then Tetsuo and you.
Yeah, but even still, like his sophomore level stuff is so good. It's so good. You can tell from so long, especially in albums like that. Like he has that power, that capability to be like Josh was saying, one of those on the upper echelon of rappers.
Oh yeah.
But it just felt like after that, like he kind of went on this decline, especially with albums like Lasers and then Food and Liquor 2. And honestly, like whenever it popped up in my Google Play, I wasn't expecting too much, to be perfectly honest, because I haven't been as crazy huge or as loyal of a fan as Godswill. So when I opened up that album and I heard Mural for the first time, I was like, did this man just sandbag for almost a decade so he could just make this one track here?
Top cat chat, let's begin another yawn. Let's flying sauce and cheese, or is it chicken palm?
And that vibe kind of continues throughout the entire album. Like
temporary hip hop.
Yo, it's so good. He says so in his interview. This is something that I think this is a phrase I've said 3 times now, but this is not an album made for radio. Like Lupe, he back in the fact he's just like the show goes on, which I have no problem. Like I kind of like. I like that song. You know what I mean?
That was his radio hit. He made that for radio.
Exactly, but this time he's just like, you know what? What's the point? Like the audience that I'm going for that really resonates with my message is not the kind that I would probably find on the radio. So why focus on targeting a demographic that won't even resonate with me?
That's right.
That's the truth, and like it definitely shows like this stuff is so high level, and like honestly, like now, I've heard this album many times already, but I'm still learning and still trying to annotate every metaphor, because like he's just like if you doubt that hip hop could be intellectual or art or whatever, this is the album check out.
Yeah, if you didn't think hip hop was an art form, man, please.
Oh man,
talk to Lupe for a little bit.
Oh yes,
he's painting full pictures,
full murals.
It's like I mean, nice little play on words. But I'm saying like he will talk a whole metaphor. He'll turn something into a metaphor, and then have little metaphors within it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
like double entendres and things like that.
It's
gets
not
crazy.
it's not uncommon for him to just do triple metaphor, triple entendres. You know, just
Which he's actually done. When I just say that, he's actually done a triple entendre.
Dude, I think he might even have some quadruple entendres in Mural. Yo,
He makes it work.
If nothing else, just listen to the track Mural, because I heard that track. It's the second track on the album, if I remember correctly. Oh my god, it is honestly like one of the greatest hip hop tracks like ever made. I'll go that far. Like it's 8 minutes, like no chorus. Like 8 minutes 57 seconds with like a 50 second intro. So it's about 8 minutes of this man just rapping, and he does not like have a weak bar like the entire time. It's amazing.
Man, he even has like powerful bars that just resonate.
That's what he does, man. And I mean, with that one, it's a lot of. I explain this to a lot of my friends when I have them listen to the album. This is definitely the type of album. If you're going to school right now or whatever, you can play this album in the background, turn it on low, whatever you want to do. The album will carry through. You'll still be hearing the music because it goes on for like those songs are 9 minutes, 8 minutes.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Chopper,
like they just go.
yeah.
Just
Mural,
let them play.
Prisoner
Don't even think about it, and you'll enjoy the whole album just that way.
But then if you're looking to like really get into it, you can do that.
You better study up.
Oh yeah, and that's something I really like about this album, because like some albums, don't get me wrong, Run the Jewels is great, but I couldn't just play it in the background. It was just like, oh god, you know what's going on, and like it stressed me out, honestly, you know. Whereas this is like high level critical thinking stuff, but honestly, it could also be really good listening music too. The thing that makes me so happy about this album is like, yes, Lupe, he's always been here, you know, it's like, don't call it a comeback. He's been here for years, literally.
Oh yeah.
For me, like as I was losing hope, you know, he just proved that like, yeah, he knows what he's doing, and you know, just unfortunate external circumstances constrained him.
Yeah, he was definitely not happy with Atlantic. That was not his place.
And now he's moving on to like what he's hoping to go do. So you know, I definitely wish him all the success.
A lot of solo projects for sure coming up.
Oh yeah.
So.
So yeah, I mean, so there you go. You have 3 albums that you should definitely take.
Go through this real quick.
Okay, so yeah, first one, Logic, Soul Food,
and then J. Cole's 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
That is amazing. And then we got Lupe, Tetsuo, and Youth.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Those albums will carry through at least half this year.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like these are the albums to listen to.
Yeah, this is a big year for hip hop. If I remember correctly, we're gonna have new releases from Kendrick this year as well. Like,
oh man,
like it just feels like these last couple months have been just so massive for hip hop, because it felt like we had that dry spell, and now it's just raining. Like,
honestly, I thought 2014 sort of sucked for hip hop. But like honestly, like
not a lot until the very end.
Yeah, exactly. Not until like all these albums. There's a lot of albums we didn't even talk about, unfortunately, but we're running out of time right now. Like, you know, Pinata from Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. Yeah, there's Joey Badass. Oh man, yeah, I didn't even get to talk about him, unfortunately. There's a lot of albums. We're gonna make a playlist for you guys to listen to all these albums. You know, if you're really interested in getting into hip hop, you think that it's hollow, or you think that they're not as good as other genres, give these albums a chance. Listen to them, turn on Rap Genius, and you just learn.
We're gonna put those albums somewhere
in the description, so that way
perfect.
Exactly. If
you have a little brother, you have anyone like that that needs to listen to this, like you want to put them on something that'll actually help them, definitely put this on this. Like, I didn't have an older brother. This helped me a lot growing up. This is just, it just shapes men for the most part, I feel.
Exactly.
My personal opinion.
Oh yeah, no, like honestly, hip hop like helped me out a lot too. We're gonna have a bro talk about maybe like effects of hip hop soon. But yeah, and hey Josh, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Definitely. Hopefully this is not the first time. Although if you make fun of me like that, and again,
you mean hopefully this isn't the first time? This is definitely the first time.
I mean, I hope it isn't the last time.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
Yes. Anyways,
nice to see my roommates.
Yes. Good seeing you again too. Hopefully see you again tomorrow.
All right, and that is
the nature of roommates is that you probably will see this man tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, that's how it works. Anyways, hope you guys out there stay dope, and please comment, like us, share this, and hey, share with us what your favorite music is, genres, albums, whatever you got for us. We'd like to hear that.
You have comments.
So that concludes our episode. For those of you who are listening to us on iTunes, we're on Facebook at facebook.com/that'sdopepodcast, YouTube at youtube.com/that'sdopepodcast, Twitter at twitter.com/that'sdopepodcast. Connect with us however you would like. We upload content all the time to YouTube, so be sure you're there for sure. And as always, stay dope, folks, and have a great day.